A couple things about the last game. Obviously, in our mind as a defense, we didn't play as well as we were capable of playing. You have to give Arkansas some credit for that. They were able to run the ball more efficient than we thought. There were some situations that we didn't play very well. Part of that, had to do with planning. We needed to get into some situations earlier in the game to help us out a little bit. Fortunately, we were able to get to those situations in the fourth quarter. It made a difference, and really proud of the football team, the way we played the fourth quarter, and the way we played overtime. That's what you take away from that game. Their will to win. It was strong, and that was the difference in the ball game. With that being said, I'm ready to open for questions.
Start on the right side. Sam?
John, how do you feel like your defense met the physical challenge, and how will Saturday help this team moving forward?
Well, when you look at the film, physically we didn't get outmanned anywhere. What we had some issues with some vertical divide between our linebackers and our front. Too many times we were up the field trying to rush the passer when they were running draws, and our linebackers were not sealing the gaps as quickly as they should. And when you got vertical divides and you got a back like they got, he can get in the crease and make some plays, and they did. And give them credit for doing what they were doing. And like I said, it took us a little longer to get to some things that helped us in those situations. And obviously, that's when you start running twists. That's when inside some three-man games, and we did some of that in the fourth quarter, and it helped us a good bit with their run game.
Right here in front. Brent?
I guess that was along the lines of what I was going to ask. You said they ran the ball more efficiently than you expected. Exactly why was that, and the adjustments you made?
Well, that was just what I just covered. Obviously we were trying to rush the passer when we should have been playing run. That was part of it. And again, like I said, our linebackers, when we read draw, we did not fill the seams as quickly as we could. And when you give a good back vertical divide between the defensive line and linebackers, they're going to make yardage, and that's what they did. Also, they ran some trap plays that we hadn't seen. They ran some influence traps. They ran some wham plays that we felt like we were prepared for. But then they, seeing both of them, it was when you see new blocking schemes, you need to be able to adjust quicker. And the one blocking scheme that was so different was the way they ran the influence trap. We had not seen that.
On the left side aisle. Zach?
Coach, how would you feel, or how would you grade the linebacking core's progression through these first 4 games?
Well, it's kind of hard because they're not the same guys playing. We had 2 guys that played the biggest part of the game this week that didn't play, in the first 2 games. When you look at the totality of it, Sean Washington has been the one guy that has been the mainstay. As far as development, we got to get better. There's no question about that, and that's my responsibility, regardless of who's playing. It doesn't matter. The next guy's got to be ready, and that's my responsibility to have them ready. If you want to grade it, it wouldn't be very good, to be honest with you, okay? Effort would be great, would be outstanding, but from a technical standpoint, we got some learning that we got to accelerate, and again, that's on me. I got to get it done. It's not the kids. They're playing their butts off, so I got to help them. I got to help them.
On the right side, Gabe, and then we'll go to Daryl in the back.
Being on the field against a physical team like that for 40 minutes, what did the guys show you when the chips were down, game on the line, tired? What did they show you down the stretch, John?
Well, as I said, it was incredible, the will to win, and certainly that was high. And from a defensive standpoint, obviously that was the difference in the game in terms of the way we played in the fourth quarter, the way we played in overtime. And it was a physical ball game, and it wasn't physical just because it was Arkansas. We made it physical too. We had some times when we got after their butt. Now, we didn't always get off blocks as quick as we could, but in terms of contact, it was a battle all day long. But it showed the heart of this football team. And, if we continue, and we will, because we got the right kind of young men out there. I wasn't on the sideline, but, all the coaches said, hey, there was not a blink. And they didn't blink. They thought they were going to win the football game, and that's what they did.
Standing in the back, Daryl?
Coach, I know that Dak gave you guys problems last year at LSU. They gave the Aggies problems last year at Starkville. What do you see? What can you draw from those 2 instances that will help you on Saturday against this guy?
Well, you better tackle him when he's got the ball. That's for sure. But No, he's an outstanding athlete, and you know, he runs the ball extremely well. He throws the ball extremely well. So, you know, when you start looking at quarterbacks in terms of, you know, facing two guys back to back, and that was one of the issues even in last week's game. We let the quarterback run when we had someone sitting in the low hole that should have been there to clean it up on third down situations. But you can't give Prescott a lot of room. You gotta play good tight coverage, make those tight throws, and then you got to account for him in the running game because he's a big threat in the running game.
Stay on the right side, Sam, and then we'll go to Lee.
You've praised Devontae Harris's play and development, you know, since you've been here. How would you summate his play at the end there, just the individual play to knock that ball away?
Well, I mean, obviously the inside guy on the vertical route did a great job of jamming the receiver, not letting him off, and it allowed him to make that play and make that break. But you know, he's been on the money all year. You know, he's a guy that's very talented, and now he's playing with a lot of confidence, and that's a plus for us, but a big plus for him. And you know, we need to. For him to continue to play that way. It's big to know that you got a guy that you don't have to worry about that can handle the island and make plays and do those things for you. So it allows you to be a little bit more flexible with your defense.
Right side aisle, Lee.
Coach, obviously last year you weren't here when the Aggies played Mississippi State, but as Darryl said that you had the experience at LSU. But anyways, how much do you study last season's game film against Mississippi State compared to this season's team? Because there are some similarities between last year's A&M and Mississippi State team to this year's team.
Well, you always go back and you look at things that they looked at, and obviously the scheme has changed. And to be quite honest with you, you know, we actually in terms of last year we studied more what they did against LSU than what they did against Texas A&M because the scheme is different.
Back row on the left, KO.
Coach, you've obviously seen more than your fair share of football with a comeback win like that in overtime. What's that going to do for your defense getting the stop when they absolutely had to down the road 4 or 5 games, or just in general?
Well, what you hope and what it should do is create confidence. And again, you know, I don't think there was a time in the ball game when our guys didn't think they were going to win. You know, and had they expressed that, then you know the results may have been differently. They went out there and fought every possession, and obviously as it got in the fourth quarter with the way they had been moving the ball, you know, time was of essence, and you know, we had to get the ball back. You know, we had to we put ourselves in a situation where we were down defensively by 8 points, and we can't let them stay out there for 6 or 7 minute drives. We got to go get the ball back, and I think they played that way. You know, we were more aggressive with the calls. There's no question about that. But it got down to them being confident, and they were. And it should build confidence in this entire football team. And that's what winning does. You know, you take that away from that game. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we got to correct. But the one thing is, you know, our team knows how to win. They know how to fight. And you know, I told them yesterday, you know, when we went through the mistakes, we got all the negatives out of the way, and there were, you know, a few of those. But I told them, hey, your will to win was so important in that football game, and it showed. It showed big in the fourth quarter, and it showed big in overtime.
We'll wrap it up with Sam.
Now that he's healthy, how would you sum up Julian Obioha's play at his new position at defensive tackle?
You know, we had some really, really good movement inside, and he was a big part of that. He gives us some fast twitch inside, some speed, and again, you know, it's important no matter who you're playing, but even more important as we continue to play spread teams. And you know, he's an outstanding young man, and I think you know, he gives us some energy inside. He and Zaycoven both are guys that you know, can get off blocks and make it difficult for people to block them. So, you know, really excited about the depth that we're gaining, particularly inside. You know, we got 5 or 6 guys that we feel comfortable putting in the game in there.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.